Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Andrew G, and welcome to episode 19 of my podcast, The Public Affair. Thank you guys, of course, again, so much for everything that you guys do to help me support this project and make it where it's at today. I really appreciate all the love and support. You guys are great. Of course, to my producer, Mike Hamilton with the Rogue Media Network. Without him, we couldn't get this where it's at today. Thanks, Mike. You're the best, man. Before we get started with my special guest, of course, I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Arjon Painting with my boy Juan Arjon. He's a local family-owned company that specializes in residential homes, both interior and exterior. That's painting, of course. He offers the best quality guaranteed and a pretty sweet warranty. So make sure you hit up my boy Juan Arjon with Arjon Painting for all your home painting needs. Also to my girl Nancy Polsini with Parkway National Insurance. She specializes in insurance for all commercial trucks, tractor trailers, as well as all contractors, and now home and auto insurance. So any insurance inquiries that you guys might have, hit up my girl Nancy Polsini with Parkway National Insurance. Thank you for sponsoring The Public Affair, girl. I also want to give a shout out to my boy Frank Biza with B&J Refinishing. He focuses on resurfacing bathtubs, counters, sinks, tiles, and more to original showroom quality. 5-year warranty on most work and offers the best prices in town. So Frank, thank you for sponsoring The Public Affair, man. You're the best. To my boy Luis Flores with Red Rhino Flooring. He specializes in all type of floor installations, building custom shower tiles and cabinets, kitchen backsplashes, and he also specializes in full home renovations. So make sure you call the number on the screen for any of that work done. Luis Flores with Red Rhino Flooring, thank you so much for sponsoring, bro. You're the best. And to my boy Tony Garcia with Crossroads Realty. He's a local real estate agent who services Waco and all the surrounding areas. He'll help you buy a home or sell your home, and you can hit him up for all your real estate needs. So Tony, thank you for sponsoring The Public Affair. More to come. All right. So I'm really excited about this next guest. He's been sponsoring The Public Affair for quite a while now with Midway Nutrition, which I absolutely love so much. And we talked about having him on the podcast for quite a while, and we finally got it done. I want everybody to give a warm welcome to my friend, Marcos Cordero. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. It is an honor to finally be here.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. You know, it's an honor to have you. I watched you build your company kind of like when you first started. And I always knew like when I started this project that I wanted to have you on. And now that you're finally here, I'm just really elated. So thank you so much.
Yes. It's been a crazy journey. I'll tell you that. It's insane. You know, like coming here, in my head, I had the idea. I want to share people how it feels or how it goes whenever you build something from scratch and you just go for it. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, you've run a very successful business for over a year now, and you've also been a very good supporter of The Public Affair. Amen. I mean, with all your sponsorships, I really do appreciate it.
No problem.
And I just want to say, Marcos brought me this. What is mango Mai Tai?
This is
or what's it called?
The Mai Tai.
Oh, Mai Tai.
Berry pomegranate, pineapple combination.
Okay, well, it's effing delicious.
Yes.
Fucking delicious because it's The Public Affair and we can curse on here. Yes. So yeah, and that's you know The Public Affair. You've known me for a long time. This is an unfiltered show. So say what you want.
So all the cuss words.
Yeah, and do what you want too, but we can do everything you want off camera. No homo. Marcos, we're cool. I love you, man. So I want to talk a little bit about how we met. Our barber, Sid the barber, used to have or work at a barbershop next to your location, Midway Nutrition in Hewitt. And so I was in there getting my haircut one day, and in comes this sultry Latino man, and I was like, "Who's this?" You know, and they're like, "Oh, that's Marcos, the shakes guy," because they used to get shakes from you. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then your haircut was after me. I don't know how we ended up just started talking or whatever about your shakes, and I told you I wanted to come by.
Yeah, I think I mentioned the Honey Nut Cheerios, and you were like, "Ooh, this is real good."
No, you know what you did? I think you mentioned the Snickers, and I was like, "Ooh, that's real good," because I saw your picture online, and that shit looked bomb as F. Okay. And so, and then when I found out you had Honey Nut Cheerios, which on this show, I you know what? I should get a free Honey Nut Cheerios for every time I say Honey Nut Cheerios on the show.
Oh my God, that'd be a lot of Honey Nut Cheerios.
No, seriously, because your Honey Nut Cheerios shakes, protein shakes, are like the absolute best. Nice. Especially now that I started working at a Soko Soccer Academy. Every time I go in the morning, right after I want to get my Honey Nut Cheerios, I look forward to it. You know, because I need that protein in my body, darling. Yes. No, but man, yeah. And so I knew that I wanted to go to Midway Nutrition because I was like, oh, that guy's hot, and I'm going to go buy a shake from him. Which I've expressed several times, you know. And that's why I like Marcos, because he's cool. He doesn't like get offended or anything. We're just over here chilling. You know what I mean?
Life is too short, man. You got to just have fun.
You just got to do it, right? Yeah. Just fucking, it's a fucking joke. You just move on with it. And anyway, we got to know each other for a long time with that. So I was really happy to have met you. And when I tried the shakes for the first time again at Midway Nutrition, I fell in love. Like, I mean, all the different flavors that you guys provide and everything. Like, what inspired you with all those flavors or what?
Man, so with the business, I mean, I've been doing it for 4 years overall, and the flavors really came from our leadership. So the first location within our organization and company, it's in Killeen.
Yeah.
And that was called the Breakthrough Nutrition.
Okay.
Then, we started with like 10 flavors in the beginning.
Yeah.
So now we have a massive amount.
Oh my God, you guys got flavors for fucking days.
Yeah, like I think it's over, like, I want to say it's like almost 40 flavors.
Yeah.
So if you, all types of flavors, fruity, sweet, chocolatey,
pumpkin. Remember I had the pumpkin the other day?
Yeah, pumpkin roll. That is
shit.
my favorite.
Was that the one that I got with the whipped cream on top or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, that shit was good.
Delicious.
I also want to give a shout out to Marcos too, because he has a picture of the Public Affair in his store. Yes, you do. So when you walk in, you can have a little drinky with me. That's great. Thank you for doing that. Marcos, why don't we talk a little bit about like you? A lot of people in town who may not know you. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about like your life growing up, like where you're originally from and all that?
Man, well, so I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, Woo! So I am boricua.
Boricua. That's why it's all hot in here.
It's all steamy.
Yeah.
So pretty much I grew over there till the age of 13.
Okay.
Right. So it was all, I love the Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
I grew up with my grandfather, which owned like a 5-acre farm.
Okay.
He was a coffee farmer. So I would go out with him. And I loved him, man. I was able to pick up pineapples, avocados, mangoes, plantains, anything.
Yes.
So I miss
What part of Puerto Rico?
Utuado.
Okay. My dad's from, Dad, don't kill me if I get it wrong, Jabocoa.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I think it's Jabocoa, and my mom's family is from Maya West, but she's from Brooklyn.
Maya West, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I loved it and I miss it, but my dad got in the military.
Okay.
So when I was 13, we got moved to Texas, Fort Hood, and just went on from there, man. Like I went to Ellison High School. That was, man.
Oh, shout out to Ellison. I know where that's at.
Yeah, it's.
Was it terrible?
Mess.
Was it terrible? You
know
English though, right?
Yeah. Well, a little bit. So I actually learned English pretty fast because during my like middle school years, I was watching a lot of cartoons and I sort of like just learned from listening.
Right.
A lot of the shows that I listened to were English, so I just kind of picked up on it. So I could understand a lot of it getting to United States, but I couldn't speak it.
Right.
It took me about a year to start getting the hang of it, and a lot of it was also really hard because there was so much context to a lot of things that, like also the dialect. Like a lot of people said words that would mean different things, and that wasn't literal. I'm like, what are you talking about? So,
but even as Puerto Ricans, like when we speak Spanish, a lot of the Spanish is a little different from like Mexicans. Well, I learned a lot of my Spanish with Mexicans because my parents did not teach me Spanish.
Exactly.
But,
so even the first couple of years being in Ellison, when I met all the Mexicans, I was like, what are y'all saying?
Yeah, right. I know they talk a lot slower because like we talk like really fast Spanish. Yeah. But shout out to Titi Virginia in fucking Chicago, who I can never understand what she's saying to me. She's like, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Like, hold up.
Okay.
Un poquito slow, lento, por favor. But Ellison. Fast forward, man. I went to CTC. For college. I did that for like a semester, and it just wasn't for me.
College wasn't for you.
No,
we talked a lot about that.
It was just crazy. I was in one of that stage in life where I just didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
My family chemistry hasn't really been the best since I've grown up. My dad was domestically abusive. Now, before I start that story, I love my dad. I respect him. Like he's done a lot of things for me, but early in life, it wasn't the best role model.
No, I got what you mean. Yeah.
So, he was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
He would leave for days on, like wouldn't come back 3 days later smelling like complete shit. So that sort of carried over into my personality in the very beginning. So I just, mind-wise, I was kind of fucked up.
Right, I feel you.
So choosing what to do in my life was kind of hard.
Right.
I was always seeking approval from my dad, which I never got in the early stages of my life. So that kind of like messed me up. But what happened really was that I just started, man, it was just crazy. I started meeting new friends that didn't really guide me the right way.
Right.
I was smoking weed all the time.
Really?
There was like 2 or 3 years of my life in the very beginning that I was just complete pothead, man.
Yeah.
No guidance. I was just jobs left and right. Caesar's Pizza, Little Caesars, Sam's Club, GC Services. I
could not imagine. Oh, GC Services. Oh, I know about some GC Services.
Dude, I went through the 1 week training.
Oh, shit. Your life was really in the shit.
I freaking quit immediately afterwards.
Yeah, oh my God.
It sucked.
I know what you're talking about, but we'll talk about how I know what we're talking about afterwards. I don't want right now. But anyway,
It just, that was like 1 week training. First day, I quit. I got my check and out.
I'm out. Give me a little $200. We good. Yeah.
So... And then
that's funny. I'm sorry. It's funny as shit, dude. I'm gonna talk to you about that after.
Along that journey, I was also I got in the National Guard, so I was pressured by my dad to get in the National Guard because he was like, "Hey, if you don't get in the military, I'm gonna kick you out." So my choice was like, you know what, I'll do National Guard, because I didn't want to go full time. But you know what, I don't regret it.
And National Guard is like the weekends type thing, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So I became an infantry soldier. I was airborne as well, so I was jumping out of airplanes. I did that for 6 years.
Yeah.
I don't regret it. It was definitely a good experience. Taught me some discipline and whatnot. So along that journey, I eventually got into a job that sort of started making me get my shit together. Really.
Right, definitely.
You know, you get to a certain point in life, you're like questioning, you're just like, what the hell are you doing?
But you know just interject real quick. I guess we just never shared that information with each other. I just never saw you as like a pothead. I can't even see that now.
It's one of those things.
I would be
like,
so turned off. Like, get away from me.
I don't just share because it's one of those. You know, everybody has those dark stages in life.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I just don't share it very often. But I feel like honestly, you know, for anybody that is successful in whatever business, you know, nobody's perfect.
No, exactly.
Nobody is perfect.
And I think it's good to share stories like that, like where, you know, your life was in the shitter for a minute, and then you really because it really goes to show, and it's proof that there's no fucking excuse. Like, get your ass up and get your shit together.
So people
you know what
tell
I mean?
me all this stuff about it's so hard. It's not hard. Just
Episode 6.
Don't give up and just get your shit done.
Get your shit together.
Like, there's no excuse.
I mean, you can still smoke weed and have, you know, sex, but it's like, get your shit together.
Yes, just get
I was going to say unprotected sex, but I do not promote unprotected sex. I promote protected sex, darling.
So, going through that, I finally got a job at this place at a hospital.
Okay.
And it was a mental behavioral facility.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess I found my passion. You know,
okay.
Like I was a very empathetic individual.
Right.
I just really enjoyed helping others that were less fortunate, because honestly, half of the people that went to the hospital were court ordered there, so they were against their own will. They would literally bring them in, all drugged up. They would wake up not knowing where the hell they're at.
Oh wow, really?
So it was really sad. So I knew how to divide that difference between like the professional and personal, because you know these people are just, they will cuss you out.
Yeah.
They will taunt you and stuff like that, and you just need to learn that they're there for a reason.
Right.
And you're there for your job. Right.
Right.
So that kind of taught me a lot throughout that whole process. I was there a total of 1 year and 6 months.
Okay.
And within the first 9 months, I became a lead within like the whole facility, and then within like 1 year and 2 months, I became a CPI instructor. So I was actually teaching staff.
Sounds important.
So I was pretty much teaching everybody in the facility how to de-escalate properly. Even the CEO, it was crazy. I was like, I'm teaching the CEO how to do this. Like, okay, cool.
Sounds like a GAC services type thing.
Yeah, but it was cool. I think that's what shifted my mindset into something better. A lot of nurses would just say, hey, you should be a nurse, but school just wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you, yeah. And we talked a lot about that on prior episodes of The Public Affair. I think a lot of people, you know, how old are you? You're
I'm
my
27.
age, right? Okay, I'm 29. So a lot of people around our age feel like really pressured into, you know, I have to go to college or else my life ain't gonna be. Listen, I didn't go to college. I've never even stepped foot into a fucking college to apply for fucking college. You know, I don't even know what that entails. Nothing. And you know, I think I'm doing pretty well for myself. I got this really lit ass podcast.
Oh yeah.
You know, so, you know, and you own a business now. You know what I mean? So it really just is about getting your shit together. There's no fucking excuse. Get your ass up. Stop being a lazy bum and let's get it. You know what I mean?
You just got to figure out what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And if something clicks immediately and you have a gut feeling that says go for it, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just going for your gut. And that was what Midway Nutrition.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
that was with this podcast too. Fuck that. I was scared. Remember what, did I ever tell you before? I shared with very few people that I was going to start this podcast. Were you one of them?
Share, yeah.
I did share with you. Okay. I was scared as shit.
Man, you just
I was.
I think I was the one that told you, hey man, just do it.
No, I think you did. Yes. Because, I want to say I spoke to you. Of course, my best friend Jaime, shout out to him, which I give him a shout out on every single episode. And I told like very few people, I'm thinking about starting this podcast and I want to call it this. And this is like the vibe I want to do. And you were, I think, yes, you were one of the ones that was like, bro, just go for it.
It's like
no, don't expect nothing. Just do it and see what happens. And then now look where we are. Episode 19.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
We're going to call this episode Boricuas.
Yes.
Boricuas after hours.
So what's that sound that was like?
Yeah. The horns.
Yeah. Dude,
after 30 minutes, Marco said he'd take his shirt off. Okay.
Oh,
nobody wants to take their shirt off on The Public Affair.
It's cold in here, bro.
It doesn't matter. Everybody wants
poking out.
Perfect. Everybody wants to say fuck and pussy, nothing, but nobody wants to take their shirt off, right?
Maybe the follow up.
Okay, part 2?
Yeah,
Everybody wants a part. Yes, okay. Oh, you know what? Soko Soccer Academy guys are going to do a part 2 and they want to take their shirts off too.
Okay, hey, whatever.
And Marcos is going to do so too because he's ripped. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt like
it's
that.
All good.
Yeah.
So pretty much after, doing the hospital and also being in the National Guard and then also being introduced into the company that I'm with right now, which is Herbalife.
Okay.
And I know there's a lot of negative stigma. People say this and that, multi-level marketing business.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because
I do. I want to talk about that.
Yeah, everybody has an opinion, and that's okay. But one thing that I will say is like, don't judge something before you actually are like doing it, or like how it can help you. So,
right.
So pretty much. I was, a friend of mine introduced me to the product, and that's when I was the heaviest. Actually, I was like 210 pounds.
No fucking way! Get out of here.
I was very like, I was not happy with the way I looked. I was not happy with the way I felt. It just sucked. Like I was, like I wanted to change myself. So he introduced me into it. I started going to the one in Keeling, Breakthrough Nutrition. Okay. And I lost 40 pounds on the product. And that right there is what shifted everything.
When you say you lost the 40 pounds with using Herbalife, would you say that proper diet and exercise were associated with that? But that's what I'm saying, and that's what I want to talk to you about, those types of products, because a couple episodes ago we talked about pyramid schemes, so to speak, and I think a lot of people really like let's say they take Herbalife for instance, or they take Thrive or whatever the hell, and I think there's a person that can market it good and say, oh, all you have to do is like drink this tea and you'll lose 40 pounds and you don't have to do shit else. But nobody really realizes, like I was stressing how I lost a lot of weight by exercising. And let me tell y'all something, I go to Midway Nutrition at least 3 times a week, something like that. And I love my protein shake after I work out. So, I support you all the way. But like, how do you feel about people who like, obviously you took the correct way. Yeah. You were exercising, you were doing this and using Herbalife. What about the people who like are like, oh, I'm just gonna be in my pajamas with my kids fighting in the background and lay in my bed and say, oh, get Herbalife, you lose 50 pounds, but I weigh 300. Like, you know what I mean?
You gotta be a product of the product, man.
Okay.
When you do this kind of business, you gotta represent. And the thing is that with any like health, any business that promotes this kind of items, it's all about the discipline. It's all about the structure of your program. Okay. Like, there's a lot of businesses out there that push stuff like, oh, if you do this, you're gonna lose weight. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's also along with the lines of like following a program. So like you're gonna eat regular food. We recommend certain items that you would want to eat, right? That is healthy, low calorie. But we're also gonna integrate this into your diet because you like how the way it tastes and it helps you control your caloric intake, right?
Okay, yes. My trainer, shout out to Isaac Carrillo from 2 episodes ago. 17. I'm the public affair. We're on 19 right now. We record in advance, so I'm like all lost. But he always talks to me about caloric intakes as well. And I think I told you that when I come to Midway Nutrition, conveniently opened at 7 in the morning, Monday through Friday. Yes. Correct. And so when I go, like he tells me, he's like, yeah, go get your protein shake from whoever you get it from. I say Midway Nutrition. He goes, bet. And you and I have talked a lot about that. But what I'm saying is like a lot of people are under the impression that all I have to do is maybe take this pill and I'm just gonna drop the weight. Yeah. And then I think that's where like my annoyance, and you know what, to be honest, I didn't even know you used Herbalife in your products until somebody told me months ago. And even that didn't even change my opinion about like going to you for you, because I make fun of pyramid schemers all the time. That's okay. I do. But there's a lot of people who are very lazy with it. And I consider you a legitimate business owner, because you own a business. Yes. I see you run that store by yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And, you shared with me about like, a lot of he's never shown me his bank account or anything, but, you shared with me about like the income that you make and, the promotions. You're very good at social media promotion. You've given me a lot of tips about that too, which I have to thank you for. Because when I started the public affair, I was like, what the fuck? Like, all my shit was getting denied. Remember?
Like, I remember you were panicking about the numbers. Like, man, I don't know why it's not doing.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Remember, because I was trying to promote on Facebook and it kept saying denied. I was like, they're trying to silence me already. You know what I mean? But it was like
canceled.
But then it was like we had to read. He was like, you have to really read the terms of agreement or whatever, which we never do. Like when I play PlayStation, I don't read that shit. Accept and download. Yeah. But what I'm saying, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject here. What I'm saying for you, and why I respect you so much, and why I love you so much, and why I love this brand so much, is because you actually worked your ass off to maintain a healthy diet. You've told me that you've exercised, and you drank their shakes or whatever, and that's how you were able to turn your body around. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's other people who get involved with pyramid schemes, other things, that like, if you just take this pill, it's going to do really good because you're going to lose like 60 pounds and all you got to do is take the pill. You don't have to do shit else. You can go eat that fucking pizza if you want to. Just take the pill. Exactly. But no, that's not what it is. So would you agree that even using Herbalife products, in order to see results, you have to maintain a proper diet and exercise. Perfect.
So there's so many people out there that, so before everything, I represent myself individually. So when it comes to Herbalife and me, like I'm an individual like distributor. So I don't represent the company whatsoever. They allow me to use their product to create a business. So it's all on me, right?
Got you.
So, but there's people out there that want the quick money, right? So like for me, I actually genuinely care for my clients. I want them to lose weight. I want them to like actually have like their goals reach that that end of their goal. So that way, that's how you develop like network marketing and referrals and whatnot. But then there's also the people that are like, oh, just buy this, make quick money and go to the next.
Exactly.
And those are the people that gives us a bad rep.
Okay. And so you get annoyed with those people like I do.
Yeah.
Except I don't get involved with
in the world, there's always those people that do it the right way and the wrong way. And that's in anything.
But that's what I'm saying. Everybody just shout out to this fucking tea because it's amazing. I'm already done with it.
I'm taking my time.
I didn't take my time. I was thirsty as hell. But no, what I'm saying is like, yes, I respect that about you because there's people, I can't stand a lazy motherfucker who wants the easy way out all the time. And I don't want to go get a job, so I'm just going to sell like these patches and that's how I'll make my money. Or I'm going to quit my job and support my family based off of this bullshit that I have to get 40 other people to sign up for, which I'm not going to do because everybody then becomes a salesman and a business owner. You know what I mean? And you, I just like, even when I found out Herbalife, that didn't even change. Like, it's not even relevant enough to bring up because I always looked at you as a hardworking businessman. You were very smart and tactful on how you built your business. And I respected that. And I knew that I wanted to come to you for guidance when it came to promoting the public affair too. Which shout out to Marcos Cordero because behind the scenes, he's helped me a lot with tips on how to promote this show. Buying advertisement, spending money to make it, right? A lot of people don't want to do that shit neither.
Right? Every week, I spend money on it. It's worth it.
Yeah, and you told me how much you spend. And let me tell you something. The ads that I post on Facebook, dude, that's just not cheap either. That's why I really appreciate you sponsors because that shit is not cheap. This shit, Mike, when he said the invoice, yeah, you're going to pay me Friday? Like, this shit's not cheap.
Cough it up.
But don't you think, like, a lot of people just don't want to do that. And
I watch a lot of personal development videos, and one thing that is always consistent across the board is that they always push invest in your brand. Right. Invest in your brand because that's the one thing that makes you money. So all these people, we are all guilty of spending money in just everything, food, things that are not necessarily that we should spend money on, but we still do. But, right. But the one thing you should spend money on as a business owner is your brand.
So even if you're going to spend money on something like, so you were involved with Herbalife before Midway Nutrition came along. Is that correct?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
And then you were able to, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you were able to use the revenue that you made from Herbalife or maybe the marketing techniques.
So it gets a little technical when it comes to all that. So you have to be in the company, you have to be a distributor for about at least a year before they allow you to have your own like location.
Okay.
And then as I developed my team and I taught people how to do the same thing, we started opening different locations. Right. And then from that, we get passive income. And then I just went on and opened my own location. And I'll tell you, it was not pretty opening my location. When I say that it was like a YOLO thing, it was a YOLO thing.
You turned that building around, right?
Like,
you showed me pictures.
It was literally, it used to be like an old church. It was literally empty for like 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And when I went in there, all I saw was cockroaches and like crickets just dead all over the place. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Like, what is this? So I spent a whole day ripping that carpet off. And oh my God, that was gruesome.
Wow, yeah. Did you do that by yourself? Or
by myself.
Wow.
I mean, like, just a razor and gloves. I cut the pieces and just ripped them off.
Do you know that if I would have knew at the time, that would have helped? I would have been there with my shirt on like
really,
tied.
And there was no AC, so we were all sweaty and so
fuck.
You would have halfway enjoyed it. You would be like, "This is too hot in here. Let me get out."
I ain't no bitch, bro. I would have been in there with my shirt like all like tied up. You know what I mean? Oh my God. And my shorts, and because I have like cute running shorts now that are like up to here.
As long as I got help, I'm good with it.
Don't get that on the camera. I'm not tan down there. God. But anyway, like. Listen, I respect you a lot for that. And I've always looked at you as a legitimate business owner. A lot of people might think, oh, no, that's another pyramid scheme. Here's my thing. And everybody knows that I make fun of pyramid scheme. I told you that already. My thing is that if you're going to be smart, and we talked about this a couple episodes ago, or last episode, if you're going to be smart with building your brand, and you're going to be like, you've never told me, Andrew, if you drink this tea, you're going to lose weight. Or Andrew, if you drink Honey Nut Cheerios, you're going to lose weight. Like you did always tell me too, like about the exercise and stuff like that. And I talked to you about that as well because shit was hard. But if you're going to do it the right way and you're going to be smart about it, then I have a different level of respect for you. But you can't sit here and try to convince me like, I don't know how to put it. Like everybody becomes a salesman.
No.
Everybody becomes a, whatever. And some people, that's just not what they're made for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So you cannot go on Facebook Live with your uncombed ass hair, you know what I mean? And your disgusting house and try to convince me to buy Herbalife or Thrive or whatever else they sell out here.
Multiple.
Just so much shit. You can't try to this is just going to be so great and your life is going to be so much better after you put this patch on your arm. No. You were just a hoe of like a year ago. Shut up. You know what I mean? Which we've all had hoe phases. But what I'm saying is like, anyway, I just respect you for how far you were able to come. I mean, then we got Waco Nutrition and Energy.
Yes.
Let's quote that. Not Waco Nutrition, Waco Nutrition and Energy.
Yes.
Okay, let's just go ahead and pun that in there. Waco Nutrition and Energy is the name of your sister company.
In Spade Road.
Yes.
Right across from El Fuego, right? It's called?
I believe so. I haven't had a chance to go, and Aaron Reynolds runs.
He's the owner along with Sadie.
Okay, yeah, but he's your business partner.
Yes.
Yes, and so I have not had a chance to meet them, but he did buy a public affair shirt. Thank you, Aaron. I would love to go visit them sometime. Are they operated on the same hours as you?
Currently, yes. Their location is the same hours as mine, which is 7 to 3 p.m.
Yes. Okay. So, anyway, where was I? I was just rambling, wasn't I?
Pretty.
He's under you. He's kind of under you, right?
Yeah,
Can you explain how that works? Okay.
So, there's a recruiting part of it where you pretty much, if somebody gets in the business, you help. They go in through your ID number, the company, and then. You help them grow. And then I love the business because it's a team effort. Everybody grows together. A lot of times people think of the pyramid scheme as in like you get stuck. But the beautiful thing about this business, there's no cap. Like he can, worst case scenario, let's say I start slacking up. He could pass me up. Okay. There's nothing stopping him. He like in normal corporate world, and you're in a business where it's like in my opinion. Yeah. That's the closest to what a pyramid scheme is, because you get stuck in certain positions, right? And then you won't move up unless somebody else leaves that position open, right? Okay. But in what we do, there's no like spaces that have to be taken, right. Anybody can just keep growing. I remember you telling me that too, about like you don't just hire people just to work there. Yeah. Because it's all about growth. It's all about networking. It's all about building relationships. So if I'm just going around hiring every that I see, it's like it's gonna ruin my business because not everybody's built for this. I got you. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, it's all about appropriate market. Like, and when you're going out there and you're marketing, you're trying to sell a product to somebody. It's like I just said 5 minutes ago. You cannot just come looking like straight up like somebody struggling, nobody's relief, and trying to sell me a fucking product. Because to me, presentation is everything. Like everything, appearance, appeal, everything to me, and that actually plays a factor in me wanting to purchase something, even if I go to like a store. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't want to name any local stores or not, because then my producer get mad at me. But like even like restaurants too. I'm not going to a restaurant where everybody's looking like a hot ass mess and then want to eat there. You know what I mean? So it's just, there's a lot of work to be put behind it, is what you're saying. Yes. And you're not gonna just any mediocre. No. Yeah. Okay. I will run my shop alone as long as I can till I find the right person. Got you. Yeah, I feel you, man. So wow, you covered a lot in that. So what would you say are some of the pros and cons about running Midway Nutrition? Pros being my own, obviously, business owner. I don't have to respond to anybody. The cash flow is good. Yeah. I love that I've been able to build a community around it. So I have a lot of regulars that come in, and then they're not just clients. They're like family. They ask me how my day is going. Do I need any help? Like it's awesome. Well, I'm not about to go wash my dishes, but I will ask you. It's like and then cons. I mean, there's really, I don't know. I can't really think of any cons. I mean, besides working a lot of hours, because even though I close at 3 p.m., I don't just leave and go chill. Like I still work my business. Right. I see what you're saying. And you had to make a lot of sacrifices too when opening, because if I can share, I mean, there were times you stood at my house. Yeah. So going to that, so I wanted to share that. Like I didn't have a place to sleep. Right. In the very beginning, when I opened Midway Nutrition, that's when I was saying like it was a YOLO thing, because it was a YOLO thing. Yes. I was living in Temple. I left my apartment because at the time, between the building the place and all the money that I had to put into it, I just couldn't afford a place. Right. So I was actually sleeping in the back of the shop, which happened. There's a room, so I had to pull out a couch. I didn't know if you wanted me to share that. No, that's fine. It's fine. Like, so there's a separate room in the back of the shop that nobody even really knows is there, because it just blends in really well. Right. There's just the one door. So, and I would, stay there, like, in my couch, and then in the mornings, I would wake up, like, at 5 in the morning, and I'd go to, like, a local gym that I was part of, and then I would use their shower. And I would work out and use their shower, and then come back and work. And I did that for about, I want to say like 4 or 5 months.
Right.
So it's just
that's great. Sometimes he took a shower in my house too.
Yeah.
Now we didn't do anything, listeners.
None of that.
No, because everybody's gonna assume that we like hooked up. No. It was all business.
It's like,
that's what I'm saying. You had to make a lot of sacrifices when opening that company, and there's probably like 2 or 3 times that you did stay at my house, use my shower, whatever the case. Yeah,
I was tired of sleeping at the shop because mentally it did put like a pressure on me because I couldn't separate personal and business life.
Okay,
and it does take a toll on you.
Like you couldn't just have people hanging out at the shop. Like, let's all hang out at my
it's
shop.
Not just that. It's just mentally sleeping somewhere more comfortable, like being able to stay at a place with a friend and conversating and go to sleep comfortably after a shower. That's awesome versus, being at a shop in the back in a room where there's no windows, no airflow.
Because my house was cool, right? Remember the queen mattress I gave you?
Yeah. It's like I'm telling you, you were like the best hostess. I was like, this guy, literally, I was like, he's so freaking nice.
I am. No, thank you for saying that.
You're so freaking nice,
I'm so freaking nice. As opposed to everybody who thinks otherwise, bitches. No. But look, I remember talking to you about that the first time. Like, I'm not the first time I met you, but somehow or another it got brought up in conversation. Wanted to get a shake, and I think I just extended the offer. I was like, look, your shop is right around the corner from my apartment, which it is. And I was like, you can come shower or whatever. You can stay the night. I don't give a fuck. Like, I got to get up early as fuck in the morning too. Plus, he's cute. He's easy on the eyes. Why wouldn't I want him to stay at my house? You know what I mean? He's not ugly. So it's like I was like, yeah, come stay at my house.
So yeah, and I don't know. That was a blessing, man.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember how did I think I was just sharing like, hey man, like I sleep in the back and
I don't remember how it got brought up in conversation. I just remember saying, listen, my house is right around the corner. Just fucking come. Like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whenever you want. And then you were very modest too, because there were some times that you didn't want to call me because you thought I would. And it's not.
My pride was getting in the way for the longest time. Yeah. I did not want to go to anybody's house and shower, so I refused. But then, where it got really hard is whenever COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you imagine I didn't have all the gyms closed, so I had no choice but to ask people.
Right.
And that was rough. Like that was pretty rough.
I
I mean, to be honest, there was times that I would go 2 or 3 days without showering just because how stubborn I was, and I was like, I'm not doing that again.
I mean, I don't know. I'm about to shower.
It's like it was rough.
We fist the shower,
and this was like, man, just thinking back to all that, it was wild.
Yeah, you had to make a lot of sacrifices, and I was always willing, to help out and everything. So I'm glad to see where you are now. You got your little place, which I haven't been to yet.
I'm
gonna come sleep over at your house. Like, fuck it, just cause.
So finally, like with the business, it just literally took off out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy because COVID actually helped us out.
Oh, really?
So with COVID, there's a lot of businesses that had to shut down, and stuff like that. But we were considered essential.
Oh, okay.
Because we sold food items that were nutritious, right? So all the restaurants were still able to open. So
I was
still able to be open, and it sucked because doing curbside as a single owner.
Oh yeah.
And you know how the bar runs along, and I have to run back into.
Bro, I bet you were regretting that shit. Like, why didn't I make a little door?
I lost weight during COVID because I was running all day.
Yeah,
it was exhausting, but I was blessed.
I bet you were happy when they started saying that people can come in.
Yeah, it's like I was like, come in. Yeah, say less.
I got you. Well, that's pretty cool, man. I do want to get into another topic that you mentioned earlier, if you don't mind. But before we do that, I really just want to show. Okay, so I didn't say earlier, but Marcos wanted a botana plate. You don't mind if I open it, right? From Fat Boy Michelin and Botana, who sponsors the public affair. Isn't this look fucking bomb?
It's good.
I always say how bomb it looks like on the advertisements, but I never get to show it on. I hope it's coming out on camera right now. This looks so good. You got the botana plate from Fat Boy Michelin and Botana. It has shrimp. It has cucumber. It has chips. Tell everybody how it tastes. Eat that shrimp like that. There's some meat in there for you too, Marcos, if you want.
Later.
The carne seca was good too. Yeah, that shit is bomb. I just wanted to show it on camera real quick, and thank you to Junior Banda for supplying that for him. It's good, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to tap into something a little bit, if you don't mind. We get a little personal here. You were talking, and if you want to share, you can. If you don't, I completely understand. But you mentioned earlier about like life being a little bit tough growing up, I guess, in your family environment. Yeah. What can you share about that? Like you mentioned your dad being an alcoholic.
Yes.
Which I lived with an alcoholic last year for 5 months, and I shared that on the public affair, which was fucking terrible. And so I understand what it's like, and I think I've shared that with you. Have I not?
No, I don't think so.
Watch episode 6 of the public affair, or I'll just tell you later.
Yeah.
But I lived with an alcoholic last year. He is an alcoholic, and that was really tough to watch somebody go through. It was rough. Like, they're very physical. And I'm not they were very physical with me, and I'm not a physical person. And what can you share about, like, would you say your dad was kind of the same way, or how were you able to find forgiveness to be able to be like, all right, Dad, let's get over this shit? And
that forgiveness part was rough.
Okay. Because I'm still on the fuck you stages. Yeah.
I don't know. It's growing up, my dad would just, drink a lot, and there was a lot of domestic abuse. He would belittle us, tell us just things he shouldn't tell us, really.
Yeah.
Like, it really messes with your mind.
Right.
As a child, he would belittle my sisters and tell them, like, they're fat, and tell me I'm fat. So it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then, my whole childhood, I would always, and even after all that, I would still look up to him, and for some reason, I wanted his approval, and I never got it.
Really?
But there was something in my heart and my mind that always carried with me throughout my whole childhood, is that I will be the opposite of what he is.
Okay.
A lot of times people grow up being like the same.
Yeah.
And in my mind, for some reason, I just recall from a very young age, be like, man, I am not gonna be like that. I want to be the opposite. I want to love my family, my future family, because I'm single and I have no kids. So, and just provide for them in the way that my grandfather did, because my grandfather was honestly my fatherly figure growing up.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with him. Went to the his coffee farm that I was discussing earlier, and I just loved it. Good. Yeah. But then my dad would just pretty much force all the times that we were together. Like if he was going somewhere, he would just drag me along. He didn't even ask me.
Okay.
He would go out running, which exercise. I guess I get that is good, but he would push me to the point that he felt like I'm capable of running as fast as he can as a little kid. Like, no way. So I'm over here like struggling, like, oh my God, like I'm dying as a little kid. And he's like, come on, keep going, pussy. Like, come on.
Oh, wow.
So it was pretty rough. I
don't know how I feel if my dad ever called me a pussy. My dad was me. I think it's a Puerto Rican thing, because my dad had a little mouthpiece on him too.
It's a Hispanic thing.
It is.
I swer, it's a Hispanic thing.
Yeah.
But so growing up, it's just pretty much throughout my whole childhood, it was just like that.
Okay.
The alcoholism only lasted while we were in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Whenever we came to Texas, he didn't do it anymore.
Oh, good.
He did it very rarely. Like, he would drink, but he didn't drink like he used to
like
drink in Puerto Rico, where he would get pissed drunk, disappear for 3-4 days, and then come back.
Yeah, and it's not a pretty sight to see. No. Anybody who's ever lived with an alcoholic or had to deal with something like that knows that shit. Yeah. And again, when I spoke about the person that I lived with last year, I mean, just watching them, it's so crazy. And I don't know if your dad was like this too. So I want you to share if it was. The person that I lived with would drink belligerently, and then the next day and do some bullshit, like either be physical or say mean things or do something stupid that he had no business doing. The next day, act like nothing was wrong. Like, just wake up and be like, hey. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
That's what alcohol does.
And it fucks you, but not even just for them, but maybe for you. Yeah. Like, if your dad was the same way, for me, that fucked me up mentally. And I'm just like, I don't understand how you can do that.
My dad was such a hate love, because, he would show me love. He would hug me. Okay. And he had his times where he was very, like, affectionate, right? And I love that. That's why my love language is touch. Like, so I love hugs and stuff like that. So, but like you said, it was like a just flip switch kind of deal.
But and I just want to reiterate something that you mentioned earlier about it's a Hispanic thing. My dad and dad, I'm just gonna share this. I grew up with a twin brother, and I always felt like my brother growing up was like the star child. You know what I mean? Because he was a little bit more popular than I was, and my parents wanted him to play sports and this and that. And I always felt like all the catering was towards. That's how I truly felt. And and I was a little antisocial, believe it or not. I didn't have a lot of friends or anything. And me and my dad used to fight all the fucking time. And my dad, I mean, he wasn't. I wouldn't say my dad was physically abusive. Like sometimes, like verbally, he would say things to me that was like, "Why are you saying that to me?"
Oh, my dad beat the shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got my ass whooped too, but I had a mouthpiece on me. I will say that my dad never just came in the room and beat me for no reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I got my ass whooped, it's because I deserve it. And let me just say, it's a little funny, but it's true. Even to this day, at 29 years old, in an argument between me and my parents, I'm always fucking right. Like, my parents don't speak logically. Do you know what I mean? And so they'll say things to me. And I'm like, do you see that you're not making any sense? I was like that when I was 6. I was like that when I was 15. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, when I was a young kid like that, I didn't talk to my parents like that. Well, I fucking did, because I always knew that I was right in an argument between them.
Man, if I would have cussed my dad, he would have beat me to death.
I never cussed my dad, but I always, I did talk back, but it's because it's like, you guys have to listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're saying things to me that make no sense. And so,
in my situation, that was not even a thing.
That wasn't a thing. Okay.
If I even dared to argue, even he was wrong, he was still right.
Oh, but that's my dad, though. Do you know what I mean? And I talk about it with my Aunt Sue, his sisters. I'm like, yo, my dad, and I love my dad. Now, I will say that, I don't know how to put this in a nicer way, but since my brother went to jail, me and my dad have grown in a closer relationship because we have like the same mindset behind the situation about like, you know, the accountability and stuff like that. And so I would say that our relationship has actually gotten a lot closer as an adult for me. And he's also very proud of me because of all my accomplishments. Yeah. Even though he says, you know, in the public affair, you really don't have to share all that shit about your personal life, you know, like putting my legs behind my head and shit like that. But, you know, which no dad wants to hear their son say. But, you know, like, yeah, growing up, I would say my dad was very hard-headed. He was a hard ass. And there was no arguing with him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I, you know, he could have chosen some words differently. You know what I mean? Like when it came to disciplinary actions and stuff like that. And I think maybe a lot of Hispanic parents might be like that. I mean, a lot of my cousins said their parents were the same way too. And me, I watched my parents struggle growing up as well. And like you said, you wanted to be the opposite of your dad. I kind of, not to put my parents on blast, I wanted to be the opposite of my parents. You know, I didn't, like, they weren't young. They had me when they were like 20, 23. And I knew that at that age, I didn't want no fucking kids. And I didn't want to have bills come in and then like, oh my God, I can't pay this. You know what I mean? Or like, I just didn't want to be like that. So I moved out at a young age and y'all, but they also raised me, not to make this all about me because I want to get back to you in a minute, but they also raised me like as you have to fend for yourself type thing. Yeah. Like, and so that rule to me applies with them as well. Don't ask me for shit. And I'm not asking you for shit. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what y'all wanted to instill in me. Was you don't ask nobody for nothing. So I'm blessed to have never have to ask them for anything, but they also know don't ask me for shit either. You know what I mean? So it kind of works out. Well, it's awesome in a way, but at the same time not, because when I have kids, I want them to know that they can, you know, reach out to me and you know what I mean? And like, hey, if you need help with something, but I'm also going to push you to be like, you got to figure it the fuck out too. Yeah. And so that's the mindset that I have with everybody.
Very much mindset that needs to be taught forward to everybody. But I mean, you see the society we live in. Well,
exactly, and like, you know, well, they're all spoiled now. Yeah. But like, I moved out at a very young age because again, me and my parents, like, we would butt heads, and you know, like, I would rather not even get into all that right now because we're not going to make this serious crybaby episode.
Yeah, but you know, so with me, I mean, I moved out. I want to say like when I was 20.
Okay, no, I was 18. I peaced out. I was like, I got the fuck out of here.
No, I was, I was still trying to figure out my life. And, you know, that all came along with the National Guard thing. Me out, and I joined, I stayed. So I stayed with parents as long as I could.
Did you ever get to talk to your dad about the alcoholism and all that and the abuse?
Yeah, we definitely talked about it. Right now it's a lot better. There's still times that we kind of butt heads, but he's getting a lot better about admitting that he's wrong.
It's the Puerto Ricans.
It's just
it's the fucking hard-head ass
and the thing that hurt me the most is that, you know, when I first started doing this business, he did not approve. What he told me? He said that whenever you fail, I'll be waiting for you at home. So that just, dude, it lit a fire in me. I was like, you know what?
Fuck that.
You know what? And he wasn't the only one. There was multiple people that were like, oh, you're not going to make it. This is just a pyramid scheme. They're going to fool you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, you know, I did it. I did this business, and I took on the opportunity that was given to me because it is an opportunity. Anything you do in life is an opportunity. You can make it whatever you want. You want to sit here and be lazy and then blame them after you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You weren't consistent. You weren't following instructions. That's on you. But I actually had good leadership and mentors that taught me how to do it. So I went on and did it. And I became successful.
Now what they saying? What are they saying now?
Oh, my dad was like, I'm so proud of you. And the funny thing is that he brags about me now. And I'm like,
do you think that they take credit for your success? Y'all got a lot of fucking nerve. Okay, my parents be the same fucking way.
Like, we just
did so good, didn't we? Y'all were the same ones that told me get the fuck out. Like, you shut the fuck up. And I love my parents, mom, dad, I love you, but also shut up.
Like, you know Dad, if you ever watch this, I love you, but you know,
y'all could take several fucking scenes. Okay, we did this. We had to. You made us do this shit on our own. Yeah, and me and my cousins talk. A lot of my cousins talk about that too because they feel the same way. Like, you know, who the fuck our parents think they are? Like, all of our parents were hard asses growing up. And they were all like, at the minute they were able to kick us out, or, you know, that's a horrible word, but you know, like we're done, you're 18, you're done, go figure it out now. And a lot of people have the luxury, I say, of, you know, oh, you're 18, but that's okay, we're gonna help you get your life together. No, like people like us and my cousins, like y'all, again, we love you, but you could take a seat.
You know, like my older sister, she was smart. Okay. The moment she turned 18, she dipped.
Oh, good.
So my grandparents have always been the ones that have been there for us. So my grandfather is a wealthy man. Like he has money. So he was able to literally take in my sister and support her and pay for all of her school. Yeah. I had the same option. Okay. But something in my mind told me just to stay in Texas.
I got you.
I don't know what it was. Like I didn't have many.
Well, the
friends.
rent's cheap. So.
Well, not just that. Like I didn't have many friends in Puerto Rico, and I just didn't see myself doing anything in Puerto Rico. Right. Just because the economy over there, it's shit.
It's shit, but it's beautiful. Isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful people. Like it's
but
fun. It's a party.
Everybody broke as fuck over there, but it's great. Like if you want to go to their party and eat melons off the tree and shit, like yeah,
exactly. Like agriculture, amazing. If you have land for it.
Okay, do it. And we got some badass music too, though, don't we?
Oh,
we do.
Like,
what? Okay. Well, no, I'm. That's really awesome, man. And you know, I'm happy that you were able to overcome a lot of that adversity. And you know, again, we both. You say it's a Hispanic thing. I kind of believe that too. I mean, and again, shout out. We weren't even trying to bash our parents. Like, shout out to the parents. I love you, mom and dad. But also, like, let's be real here.
You know, in life, you make choices. You can either learn from your mistakes or
tell that to your son.
So it's like we chose to be better.
Yes, we did. And again, me and my cousins talk about that too. Like, and a lot of it really is just internal. Like, I can't stand a person that says, "Oh, because my life was so shit growing up, I don't have this, that, and the other." Like, no, like get your shit together. I was destined to not have any of this. If everybody would have saw my life from the outside looking in, I was destined to be like a crybaby ass, like blame everybody for the fucking world, like I ain't shit type thing. I was like, no, in my mind, I have a drive to be more than that. I don't want to fucking struggle. I don't want to fucking be less than. I want to have everything that I want, and blessed to say that I can do so now. Blessed, not lucky, blessed. And that was all from hard work. You could say the same thing, correct?
Yeah. Sure.
Well, Marcos, I don't want to wrap up without asking you if you want to share one more thing with us. Is there anything that I left out? Do you want to talk about another thing? Or?
I mean, I think we pretty much cover everything. I know we kind of rambled on and went back and forth with a lot of things.
No, but you know, I'm really happy that you touched on the Herbalife thing, the pyramid scheme thing. Now, for the record, you hate pyramid schemers.
Yeah. Okay. You know, it's like, again, this is I am an individual distributor. So it's like it's me.
You represent yourself.
I represent myself.
Yes.
So anything that is being said here, it's me. Yeah. Like that Herbalife is a completely different entity. Like.
And I just want to say, like, just for the record, I always write a bunch of notes, like right before you know, our guest comes on. I never really share it with you guys. I don't know if you just looked at my card before or whatever, but you covered a lot of things in just what you were saying. I was like, bet. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, what can we talk about now? You know what I mean?
When people ask me about my life, I always have a clear picture of what to say because I feel like it's good for people to hear. Right. From others, because that's how I sort of, you know, did what I did, because I would hear a lot of different stories from other people and how they started this and how they went about it, and it just, you know, you can relate. If you can relate, it's awesome because it gives you that fire, that motivation to do it. You know, there's two things in life that I learned that will always disappoint you, and that's, you know, expectations and depending on people. If you can avoid those two things and just do stuff on your own, obviously there's gonna be times in life that you have to like have some help, right?
Yes. But would you say that there's before we wrap up, would you say that there's one person in your life that may have been a really good supporting driving factor for you, that stood by your side and said, you can do?
Grandfather.
Your grandfather?
My grandfather, 100% single. And Brock, my mentor.
Oh, I met Brock.
Yeah, so
Brock too.
So my grandfather was the initial like beginning of my life, like, since childhood, even though I was mentally just unstable and didn't know what to do. Even when in those times that I decided to do stupid stuff, because there was one part of my life where I dipped. Like I was working at HEB with a company, and I was working.
You can say HEB, it's cool.
So with HEB Distribution Center, and then I like went through some heartbreak, and I left, and I went to Puerto Rico, and then my grandfather didn't judge me. Okay. He said, "I love you, and I will support you with whatever you do."
That's good, man.
Like, and that unconditional love is really what like just helped me to get over what happened. And then like he's been there for so many things. Right. You know, he bought me my first car. He paid a lot of my debt that he should have not.
Oh, really?
I mean, I did some stupid stuff, man.
Yeah.
And then
we all hired that prostitute once or twice.
Yeah. So I got lucky. I mean, I've been blessed. Like there's a lot of things like, I feel you. I'm just glad that
since you shared that, I really just want to share real quick too. You know, I'm glad that your grandfather was such a the biggest person that we all like we talk about coming up on our own and shit like that, but we all had that one person for us. That person for me was my best friend, of course, Jaime Gutierrez. I just want to take a minute to thank you for helping me, push me where I'm at today, and really help me be the person that I get emotional because we went through a lot too as friends. He's like my brother to me, and like you really helped me and pushed me to be where I'm at today. You didn't follow any of the gimmicks, nothing, no matter what anybody said about me, even my coming out. Like you stood by me, bro. So I appreciate you. I love you, bro. And your wife's hot. I love Lupita too. Shout out to Lupita. We're having a baby now. Love you guys.
That's awesome.
They're gonna have a kid, and then they said, you're going to be an uncle. I said, for real this time? Long story. But yeah.
Surprised.
Yeah, man. Well, that's good. Okay, so what else can you leave us with? Are you sure there's anything else that I might have left out?
I think that's it. I mean, obviously, there's always more.
Okay.
We could probably go on for two hours or plus. I mean, there's so much more that can go in detail. But overall, that's pretty much everything. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say to you personally, thank you so much for sponsoring this project. As far like even today, you have been one of the people that have helped this podcast, this podcast really push to where it's at today. I was very blessed to have a lot of people reach out for sponsorship, and you were one of them. Yeah. And so I'm really grateful that Midway Nutrition is a sponsor for the public
seeing
affair.
You like starting off and then just YOLO and just like that made me happy because it reminded me when I decided to open my business because that feeling like you don't know.
No, it's
you
scary,
don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I
scary.
had no expectations for this podcast.
You would ask me like I just don't want to like bother people or ask. It's like bro, just ask them. Don't matter. You gotta do it.
Well, okay, because my biggest thing is like the sponsors. I hate asking the sponsors for money, even though I know we have to do it. You know what I mean? That goes
job.
into I hate asking people for shit.
Yeah,
but it's a business, not a business, but it's
same thing for me.
Business.
When I started doing this, I hated asking people for anything.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Well, I mean, Midway Nutrition has been a very big sponsor for the public affair, as well as everybody else. But you've been in since the beginning, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate every week when you say that you're going to sponsor an episode. It means a lot to me. So I really want to thank you. I am so proud of where you're at today. Midway Nutrition's been open for about a year now.
November 4th coming up is about to be the 1 year mark.
The 1 year mark. Okay, got you. Why don't you tell everybody where Midway Nutrition is located, just in case they forgot during our ramble?
So it's off of North Theo Drive, 501 North Theo Drive.
Okay.
It's in the same plaza as Lean's Pharmacy.
Okay.
So if anybody knows Finish Car, is it the car wash Finish Line?
Finish Line, right across the street.
Right across from that, there's that plaza, Meadow Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, and in the corner of the back, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay. And they have really great protein shakes, you guys. I say on every episode that my favorite is the Honey Nut Cheerio because that shit is bomb. Yeah. It's good after a workout. Perfect protein shake, and you make post workout shakes.
Yeah, we have optional for just a meal replacement or actually post recovery options that have BCAAs and all that.
Don't forget these fucking teas. These
caffeine
teas are bomb.
And B12s if you love that stuff.
Okay, and I love this tea, but my favorite what was the one that I said was my favorite? The pineapple orange.
The pineapple orange.
Yo, that shit is bomb, and they're so refreshing. And I know summertime is over, or whatever, but anyway, it's bomb. Well, Marcos, I really want to thank you so much for coming on to the public affair, man. You were a great guest. You were fucking awesome. Before we wrap up, I want to thank everybody too who's sponsored this project or who has supported this project any way you can, whether it be through sponsorship, sharing, liking, commenting. Everybody who's believed in the public affair, like Marcos Cordero here. I really appreciate all you guys so much for helping this podcast go to where it's at. We're on episode 19. That's fucking crazy. I love it. Wow. I also want to give a shout out to a few more of our sponsors before we wrap up. Of course, our boy Sid Rodriguez at Elite Barbershop. They're located on Hewitt Drive. You can call the number on the screen to book or download the Cut app to book your hair appointment. They also got Marcus Guerrero over there, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, all badass barbers. They're gonna have you looking mad fresh. That's where I get my haircut. And you go there sometimes too, don't you?
I go there, every other Wednesday. I get my haircut and my beard.
Yo, I go there every week. Fuck it. But yeah,
he's the man.
Yeah, Sid Rodriguez, a very great. I had him on episode 10 of the Public Affair. Really great guy. So make sure you guys hit up Elite Barbershop if you need a haircut, of course. I also want to give a shout out to Fat Boy Michelada and Botana and Serrano's Carnita with Junior Banda and Miguel Serrano, who again supplied a botana plate for Marcos here. They work together to bring you the best michelada, botana, and carne seca. They're locally operated. You can call them for parties, get-togethers, or if you want something for yourself, like Marcos did here, you can do so. Make sure you get the best and not the rest, darling. And I can't leave without giving my people at Soco Soccer Academy, Dominic and Ariana Gutierrez, a shout out for sponsoring the public affair. They're located on Franklin Drive. They offer team, small group, and individual skill training, and they also have occasional open play. They also specialize in soccer training with professionals like George De Leon. They have a fitness training with Dominic and Isaac Carrillo. They were on episode 17 of the Public Affair. So make sure you guys check that out as well. And call the number on the screen for more details on joining Soko Soccer Academy. Thank you guys for sponsoring the Public Affair. And let me just go ahead and do this. Midway Nutrition with my boy Marcos Cordero, today's guest, located on Hewitt Drive. He sells meal replacement shakes. Super bomb. My favorite is the Honey Nut Cheerios. Tons of different flavors. And shout out to their sister company, Waker Nutrition and Energy, with Aaron Reynolds. They're located on Spate. Thank you for sponsoring. You're the best, man. And everybody, thank you again so much for your support. You guys are the best. Marcos, thank you for coming by. And as always, oh, I don't have enough tea for this one, but I'm going to try. As always, make sure you keep it between us.